Hello and welcome. My name is Brittany Altmeyer and I'm a performance coach for competitive dancers, but also serious theater students because I own a children's musical theater program in Orlando, Florida. We just finished auditions, so my heart is going out for all of you who have also just finished your auditions, and maybe you are confused. You don't know why you didn't get a specific role. You are disappointed, maybe you're excited, but still don't know how it works. And I'm here today to give you a little bit of insight on what the directors are really looking for behind the table. Not the generic stuff that you learn at every single audition workshop, right? Where you do your homework, dress to impress, walk in with confidence. Yeah, that's all wonderful. That is very, very, very important. Some of these other topics that I want to talk about today are coming straight from the director of where it pains us, where we need you to fit into specific places so that we can bring the story to life. And that can be very, very hard for us, especially if you've been in a program for many years, you're very dedicated, and the director wants to see you succeed, wants to see you thrive. You are their student, you've been growing up in the program, and they want to plug you into where you are going to be so happy and successful. But sometimes there are just elements beyond our control that we can't beat. And parents, when you're watching your children audition and you can see them working so hard at home and you think they need to get a specific role they're working for, it can be really hard to watch them come home getting something different. We automatically go to the negative. Oh, they are doing this instead. That means they don't have any lines. They won't be doing this. They're not going to have any fun. They're never going to grow. They're not being challenged. If that's you right now, I'm glad you're here with me. I hope I can turn you around. Hope we can do a whole 180 because that is not where you need to be. That's not healthy for you. It's really not healthy for your child. And then that's when you start gossiping and venting at home when really this is your child's activity. So being here, learning what's going on behind the director's table, you can help support your child, not only to get the next lead, but to grow and be a good human being, learning how to grow and develop in different scenarios when different things get thrown at you, rather than just throwing a hissy fit and quitting because you didn't get what you want. So we talked about the first thing you have to do is you have to do your homework. You have to be prepared because that instills trust with the director. When you are given a lead role, when you're given a role that has lines and solos, that the rehearsal for those moments do not happen usually in the rehearsal room. Even if you get booked the job as a professional, you usually do not get paid to go home and learn your lines. That is the expected. You have that extra homework that those who don't have lines don't have to do. They have other pieces of homework. They need to learn their vocals. They need to learn choreography. They do not have to go home on day one and start learning those lines. So the biggest thing the first point when I said come in showing us that you're prepared is that tells the director, that tells them that you're willing to put in the work. If you have already memorized, I'm not saying go to your auditions memorized, but if you have already come in prepared, that shows that you can do the work at home and they can trust you to memorize your lines in a timely fashion, because nobody wants that done at the end of the process. That needs to be done right away. That's how you get the next lead, by doing that right away. So that's what I mean by trust. I don't think I elaborated on that earlier. So the trust comes from knowing that you know how to put in the work. Not everyone knows how to memorize lines and how to be ready when the scene is happening, to make sure that you are there. You're going to be on stage, and we don't have to say, where's Willy Wonka. If we're doing Willy Wonka, where's Wonka? Where's Wonka? That is not the person who should be the lead. That is not who you want to be either. You want to be proactive, prepared, there with your homework done, at least if you're going out for those bigger and better roles. Okay, so we talked about preparedness, homework, and how that equals trust between you and your directors. Then the next thing is the directors have to check specific boxes for specific roles. And this is so generic right now because it's different for every show. Into the Woods, there is basically no dancing at all. Barely any dancing. It is all singing. You have to be able to sing those vocal lines, but at the same time, you have to be able to play a romantic connection between the prince and the princess, or maybe you have to, Jack, he's the son of the baker, so the baker has to look older than Jack. So whoever is playing one or the other, and sometimes that might depend on the guys in the cast, or it might depend on the mother in the cast. The other person playing it has to make sense in the relationship. Makeup can't do everything. The way you deliver your lines, maybe you're really young, but you have a maturity to your voice, to your tone. You can play an older character. Or I was saying there are certain roles that are only acting roles where you have to have a specific accent or a certain look to make the lines make sense. The lines cannot be changed for you. I'm sorry to break it to you. I'm sorry to say that. The lines are set. We have to follow very specific rules and guidelines because we purchase scripts and the laws are very strict. So if it says that redheaded curly hair girl, then that's the line. Of course, people can be wigged and there are ways to change makeup and stuff like that. But when thinking about like mother and son, it might not make sense if the son is taller than the mother. Maybe it can if the mother plays it very maturely. Those are the specific check boxes I'm talking about where it can't always depend on just you and just how you've prepared for your audition. It really also depends on everybody else in the cast, everyone else who has come out for that. So whether it is a professional show and we're just banking on who showed up today to audition for this part, we hope we can fill in all these roles, or if it's a youth program and everybody who signed up is there on day one and then the cast gets divided by everybody here. It's not where we're not scouting out for specific characters. Maybe you do that too, and you have to scout based off of somebody else you have. Okay? So those are the specific check boxes. And what I'm really talking about are more of the lead characters. Very rarely is that going to matter as much in the ensemble. And that can play to your benefit. So let's say you don't get a lead and you are super bummed because we're always bummed when we don't get the lead. But that means that you can be put in these other ensemble roles. And the director probably did this for a reason because you are probably a huge asset to the ensemble, meaning that you're a good leader. Make sure that other people will make it on stage with you and that maybe you know your choreography better than others. It is a very lonely world being a lead. We start to feel like we aren't valued because we are put in the ensemble, but sometimes you might not know it, but the director puts you there because they value you so much and how much you can help the other students around you or actors or actresses or that specific group where you can be in a place of leadership or in a place where the director goes, okay, great. So since they aren't playing this specific character, I can put them in almost every scene because they are so strong. And I need the vocals for this song and this song, and this character can't really pull off that, but they have this other aspect. So I feel like so many times we see the ensemble as a negative, but you really can't see into your director's brain. That's why if they offer to give you feedback, take the feedback. If you were expecting to get a lead and you are in the ensemble, it might be because you're too valuable to lose. Now, maybe that can hurt you and you're like, but all I ever want to do is play this specific role. Sure, maybe, but that doesn't mean your opportunity is gone. Maybe they want to see you grow in a different area so that when maybe you need a year on you, or maybe your education needs to go a little bit more, then you'll be ready for it. And you won't even be ready for that. You'll be ready for this, and all these other more amazing things because they trained you in the right way. That's how how it works. We're educators, we're directors. Directors are not just there to only make the best show ever. Maybe in some scenarios, I can't speak for those people, but those of us who are educators, we are there to help you in this show, but then also for your future. And so it's for your own good. I know you won't believe me. You will not believe me when the cast list comes out and you see ensemble and you feel insulted, but hone back into Miss Brittany right here and think, wow, I wonder what else my teacher saw in me to make them think I was so valuable to be able to put me in every single ensemble number rather than coming in for those 4 scenes where that character has more lines than you do now, but it's not all about the lines. The third thing we're going to talk about in this episode is something else that can be extremely helpful when you go into an audition is showing the directors to make choices as the character and not just stand like a stick and wait for every stage direction, every note, everything. You have to, when you're given a role, you have to embody the character and be it on stage in every scene, in every dance routine, in every number. And it can be extremely difficult if you come in and you're like, and then the song starts and you have great personality and acting, but you don't show that until you start singing. So the song starts playing, and if you're like this, and then when you start singing, you have this personality, that is, we're going back to trust, and it shows the director, we're not sure if we can trust you to put you in all these acting scenes where we don't tell you exactly what to do. So let's say you're playing a fish, okay? You're supposed to be a fish, and if whenever you are not singing or speaking, you stand just standing there, then it's hard to know if you have the acting qualities to actually be that character, or if you're going to be one of the newsy kids. If you say your line with great personality and body language, awesome, but then you go, when other people are talking, it might show us that you might not have the maturity or skill level yet. And if I, as the director, have to say over and over, okay, make sure you're still embodying your character. If I can say, can you move as your character from stage right over to the set in the center, and you walk like this. Okay, now that's another 10 minutes where I have to spend teaching you how to move to the center. Now, if you were to do something naturally and just try to embody your character, you might feel like a doofus, or it might not be perfect, but at least it gives me, the director, something to work with. And then I can say, okay, I like that, but let's adjust this so that it makes sense with what my vision is for it, and that it creates the story and creates the scene that we are all trying to create together. I hope that makes sense. I know that's a lot, but these things are going on in our minds, and we never get to tell you everything. We never get to say, okay, you can't be that part because you are so valuable in this other area. If you had a killer audition and you're always there and you're reliable, then that's amazing. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't get shot down because you didn't get exactly what you wanted. They have dreams for you. They really do. And as long as you're still learning and taking lessons, you're going to soar. You're going to fly. And there are big dreams for you ahead. So keep on following those dreams. Keep on auditioning. Do not quit because you don't like a part. Know that the auditioners behind the table, the directors, really want to know that they can trust you, come in doing your homework, that they have specific boxes to check with every show, and you don't know what everything entails there. And then don't be afraid to use your personal choices even as you're standing, reading with somebody, or before a song starts that you're starting to sing. So we don't completely go from one character to the next and then we're just us. Thanks for being here. My name is Brittany, and I will catch you in the next video.